This is my top five films of 2023. Um, I didn't see a ton of movies. A lot of these movies probably shouldn't be on a lot of top five lists, but I just didn't see a lot of films. I didn't see Oppenheimer. Actually, I did end up finally seeing Barbie. Didn't make the list. There's a few other movies I'm sure people like. I can't believe it's on the list. I didn't see it. Um, I have all the movies on this list are reviewed on soundandbettermyhead.com. You probably see, if you scroll through my page to see what movies I did watch this year. I've already did the top five worst movies. I've also done spoiler reviews for all these on here on YouTube, so you can check those out. I'm gonna have links for most of this stuff, and then there probably will be spoilers in this countdown here. Probably just gonna blurt some stuff out. And again, trying to make these lists. Sometimes the movie's not that great, but it's like, well, I've seen it. It's better than this movie, so that's my top five. When I'm trying to put this list together, it's like, how do they? Sometimes it's just a really good theatrical experience. Like, was the movie like an Avatar? Like, I think you got to kind of experience that in theater. It kind of leaves an impression. The film's not that great. Or sometimes it's just the movie makes me feel like something, like just emotions. I feel like, wow, that sticks with me, or just I had a lot of fun watching it. So that's a lot of that determines where these things end up on this list, anyways. I think there might be at least a couple on here. People will be like, why did he put that on there? But it's my list. This is stuff I enjoyed this year. Number five, I went with The Creator. It was a pretty solid sci-fi flick. Looked fantastic, but it's like every time they started to get to like doing something special, like wow, this is gonna break new ground, like just story wise and whatnot, and try to like have like a moral or whatever to it. It just kind of fell flat and got kind of stagnant. Didn't really break any new ground. Thought the characters were likable enough. There was some strong acting. Didn't really care for the ending. It was kind of weird to go with this kind of half-assed, downer ending. It didn't feel like it worked. It was kind of abrupt. It's like, all right, they're dead, and the kid's kind of happy and sad at the same time. Where do we go from here? Who knows? Number four, I went with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Again, this is one that's good for a theatrical experience. Just the music and the sounds and the colors and the visuals. It's so immersive when you're watching it. The story itself is fine, but unfortunately it's a part one of two, which kind of feels like the story is just half told, which really hurt it. I think there was almost too much going on, so some of it was actually kind of forgettable in a way. I thought there was some really great emotional moments in the film, though, that really you just stay connected to these characters. This is a second film with most of these characters. I think it's going to also be one of those things, how is part two could really come back and complement part one and make it one great experience. That's how I felt more with Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. I thought they both had their flaws, and they both had their really good sections to them. And when you combine them as one film, I thought they really complement each other. So we'll see where this goes. Number three, I went with Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol Part 1, because apparently they're not going to call the next one Part 2, but whatever. Again, some great action. This makes me think I got Indiana Jones on my worst list. It's a spoiler, I guess, if you haven't seen my worst list yet, but just the action there was so uninspired from a film series that used to have inspired action sequences. Like, Mission Impossible gets it. Like, the car chase scene is great. The stuff with the train, obviously, the big stunt with the motorcycle jump. And what's nice about this one, they just had a CG out the ramp, so you could actually see. You're seeing him jump. It's a lot of times Tom Cruise does these death-defying stunts, and then the way they edit it, it looks like you could have just did it safely and been fine, and no one would have known the difference. I thought Haley Atwell was an awesome addition. I loved her in this movie. I thought she was really good in the role. The rest of the team didn't get as much to do. I was getting a little annoyed with. I don't like the. I'm so smart, or I got these good algorithms where I can predict the future to I know exactly when this guy should fall off a train and land on a passing car. Like, between the AI and whatever, it always bugs me that the logic behind that. Like, oh, if you're smart enough, you can predict the future pretty much. It's like, okay, There's just so many little things that could go wrong just to change that. One red light or one, idiot crossing the street at the wrong time to throw everything off. And again, there's another one that ended with a cliffhanger, but it felt more like this movie did kind of end, and it's just like, okay, but the threat's still out there. So it wasn't as big of a cliffhanger as some of the other stuff that's been doing the two-parters lately. Number two, this is, I think, a lot of people probably won't have on the list, but I actually went with the Super Mario Brothers movie. By far was not a great movie, but as someone that's played like every major Mario Brothers game since the beginning, it's like there was just so much in this movie that was within there for me. It's all just like hour to 2 hours fan service, but I enjoyed it. Like I said, there wasn't much of a plot. I didn't think the hero's journey was that interesting, but it's just one of those, if it's on, it's fun. It's nostalgic. If I happen to see it on TV or something, I'm like, oh, I think I'll watch this again. Just because I said it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of the music, like so many callbacks to like some of the other games. Like it's just a good time. And then my number one movie, I ended up going with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I still think the plot was a little weak. It wasn't the greatest. I thought the villain ended up being pretty mediocre with a High Evolutionary. He was basically just an asshole, and he got beat surprisingly, easily. But the rest of the film, I thought the emotional stuff was fantastic. Just all the character moments. I thought James Gunn, he knows these characters. He knew where he wanted to take them. Thought that pretty much everybody had a really strong ending. Like this, they're all celebrating at the end, and it's like I felt like I wanted to kind of celebrate with them because you went on this ride for these 3 films plus some of the Avengers stuff, and it's like seeing these characters progress to this level. I thought just was a really good payoff to what James Gunn started off with. And I think Adam Warlock was a little bit wasted in a few other odds and ends. It's one of those things. I wouldn't call this a great movie. It's one of those movies, I'll look back at this list probably years later and be like, really? Why did I put that for number one? And then I see what else was out there, like, oh, okay, that was the best movie. But there was a point where I almost put Mario Brothers first, because I thought that was just so much more fun. But I think they really nailed, just about everything in Guardians that they needed to for that story. And it's probably about it. Like I said, I have the reviews that are all involved in this. I got those at soundedbetterinmyhead.com, plus a short and sweet version of this actual list on there as well. I have comic strips also on that soundedbetterinmyhead.com. I got, like I said, reviews for all these movies on YouTube, which they're all spoilers, but hopefully these movies have been out long enough you don't care, or you've seen them. So other than that, thanks for watching.